The Tower of Babel has always sparked much speculation and curiosity, but many are unaware of what the Bible actually says about it, leading to interpretations that lack scriptural basis. In this video, we will explore the account of the Tower of Babel in light of biblical scriptures, seeking to better understand its context and meaning. It is important to note that the term Tower of Babel does not appear directly in the Old Testament. It is a commonly adopted name to refer to the tower mentioned in the city of Babel. The word tower refers to a structure for surveillance, while Babel, derived from the Akkadian Bab Ilu, means gate of God, a combination of the Akkadian bar and the Hebrew el. Additionally, the popular etymology of the name Babel is related to the Hebrew word for confusion and mixture, reflecting the idea of a complex linguistic origin and the confusion that followed the attempt at linguistic and cultural unification. To understand the Tower of Babel, it is essential to start with the city of Babel. After the flood, God had commanded humanity to spread out and populate the earth. However, in disobedience to this divine order, the inhabitants decided to unite and build a city in the plain of Shinar. Babel is the first city mentioned in the Bible after the flood, and the area where it was built later became known as Babylon. The foundation of Babel is attributed to Nimrod, who also established other important cities such as Erech, Akkad, and Calneh. Nimrod also built cities in Syria, including Nineveh. According to the biblical account in Genesis 11, Babel may have been the administrative center and starting point of a kingdom. The construction of the Tower of Babel was an act of defiance against God's command for humanity to disperse. The expression used to describe the tower, which intended to reach the heavens, symbolizes the arrogance of the civilization of that time and its remarkable technological advancement. Genesis 11 does not explicitly explain whether the inhabitants feared a new flood, but the grandeur and symbolism of the tower and the city seem to indicate such a concern. This behavior not only denotes disobedience, but also a lack of faith in God's promise that there would never again be a flood. In the region of Babel, construction did not use stone and mortar as in most other regions. Instead, the structures were made of sun-dried or kiln-fired clay bricks, and bitumen was used to bind the bricks together. Mesopotamian temple towers, called ziggurats, provide a useful analogy for imagining the Tower of Babel. These ziggurats were rectangular towers built in tiers and accessible by stairs and ramps. They typically had between 3 and 7 levels, with a sanctuary at the top dedicated to the revered deity. While the Tower of Babel may have followed a similar design, the lack of definitive records makes it impossible to determine its exact number of levels or its specific function. The exact location of the Tower of Babel remains uncertain. Some traditions, both Jewish and Arab, identify the tower with the Temple of Nabu, about 10 miles south of Babylon. This temple had 7 levels, and its name might be associated with a phrase meaning Tower of Power. Another theory suggests that the Tower of Babel was located in Babylon itself, locally known as the House of the Foundation of Heaven and Earth, a pyramidal structure about 100 meters high. This tower was destroyed by Xerxes, and its remains may have been removed, leaving only a large crater. There are also suggestions that the Tower of Babel was located west of Baghdad in Iraq, though this theory is less accepted, as the city in the region was only modified around 1400 BC. Some Jewish traditions claim that God sent fire from heaven to consume the Tower of Babel, while others suggest that the tower was toppled by a strong wind, leaving only rubble. Despite the uncertainties about the exact location and structure of the Tower of Babel, its symbolism is clear. Both the city and the tower represent mankind's unchecked ambition since ancient time and the persistent attempt to defy divine order. The central message of the biblical account is God's judgment on the people of Babel, resulting in the confusion of languages and the dispersion of humanity, giving rise to the diversity of cultures and languages. In Genesis 11:5, there is an anthropomorphic element in the description of God coming down to observe the city and the tower. And in Genesis 11:6, God notes that human ambition would have no limits, leading to judgment and the dispersion of humanity. Whether the confusion of languages was a global or local event is debated. Some scholars argue it occurred only within Semitic history, suggesting that Genesis 11 describes the origin of different Semitic dialects. However, the more widely accepted interpretation is that the confusion of languages had a global impact, reflecting the concentration of humanity in Babel and the subsequent dispersion to other regions, as described in Genesis 10 and 11. Finally, many try to speculate about the language spoken before the confusion of languages, but there is no definitive answer. Some scholars suggest Hebrew, but this theory is contested, as Hebrew is derived from other dialects. The true original language before the confusion remains a mystery, just like the Tower of Babel, which continues to be a powerful symbol of human ambition and disobedience. To conclude, the Tower of Babel represents more than an ancient architectural structure. It is a profound symbol of human ambition and the attempt to overcome the limits set by God. The confusion of languages and the subsequent dispersion of humanity reveal the importance of obedience and trust in divine promises. Although the exact location and design of the tower remain shrouded in mystery, the biblical message remains clear. The attempt to build something that challenges divine order leads to disintegration and chaos. Now that we have thoroughly explored the account of the Tower of Babel and its implications, we'd love to hear your thoughts. Leave your opinion in the comments and subscribe to the channel for more content like this. Don't miss our upcoming videos, where we will continue to explore the scriptures and the mysteries of history.